up everyone? So continuing the Venice Film Festival coverage, today's movie I'm going to be discussing on the channel is the new film from Halina, Reijn, who gave us Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Her latest film is an erotic thriller called Babygirl, which stars Nicole Kidman as Romy Mathis, who is the CEO of this big company called Tensile Automation. She's the, I don't know how she does it lady, because she is like the CEO boss bitch, but she's respected by her employees. She is a loving wife to her theatre director husband Jacob, played by Antonio Banderas. They've got two beautiful daughters called Isabel and Nora. The film starts with a bang, metaphorically speaking that is, because it's Romy and her husband having sex, and when it looks like they're finished, we find out that Romy didn't really climax, she didn't have an orgasm, so she rushes off to the next room, turns on some porn and sorts herself out, because as we learn later, she's never really had an orgasm with her husband, even though they're clearly in love with each other. But yeah, things then get complicated when she starts having an affair with one of the interns at her company called Samuel, who's played by Dickinson. While she is his boss, he's actually the one who's got the power. He's in control of her because she's got more to lose if people were to discover the affair that she's having. But I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I wasn't blown away by Babygirl. I didn't think it was all that erotic or thrilling for that matter. There were bits and pieces about it which I liked, and I can appreciate that Halina Reijn is trying to subvert our expectations of what an erotic thriller can be and what it has to say. This film explores many things such as marriage, control, consent, and also power in the workplace, but also in marriage and relationships. But I guess I was just expecting this film to be more scandalous, more salacious, more shocking, and it was none of those things. I will say it does have a more nuanced approach as to how we think of sex and like BDSM and people being dominant and submissive and what that's really about. It's not just, you know, a male fantasy. It does explore that, and the film is quite sex positive in that sense. So we'll get props to Halina Reijn for that. But yeah, what else is good about the film? Well, for starters, the performances. I mean, Nicole Kidman is fantastic in this. She's always up for a challenge, always pushing herself with the roles that she undertakes, and this role did require a lot from her. And the character dynamic she has with Samuel is quite fascinating. Like, those were the most interesting scenes to me when those two are together, because like it's hard to tell sometimes what she really wants. Like there's certain scenes where she's trying to get out of the situation, but she's either manipulated or gaslighted back into it by Samuel, because it's hard to know whether she wants to pursue this affair with him because she's afraid of losing her marriage and her kids and her job, so she's going along with it, trying to keep him happy. Or is it something that she really, really does want? Like it's really a deep down desire that she wants, and she's indulging it because she wants to. Does she want it for this reason, or does she want it for that reason? Like, it's hard to know. It's a performance of many layers. Dickinson is also really good in this film. I wouldn't say like he made the role his own, but he does sort of bring a certain smarmy cockiness to the role. He's smart, he's cunning. There's this one scene where Romy is having dinner with a bunch of the higher-ups at a restaurant, and Samuel just happens to be there with some of the other interns, and he sends over a glass of milk just to see what she'll do with it. And there's also the scene where she agrees to meet him at this like dingy motel, and she tries to, you know, assert her dominance as his boss, but it's fascinating to see how he manipulates her into getting what he wants from her. Yeah, those interesting moments of the film are quite scattered throughout the narrative, okay? It's not consistent all the way through. Like I said, there are some good moments in this film, but it just doesn't add up to a satisfying whole. Don't. I will say I did quite like the score. It felt like it was taking a note from the White Lotus theme song, you know, with a lot of sort of tribal music, throat singing, grunting, heavy breathing. It sounds very primal and animalistic, and the whole animal instinct does come into play throughout the film, because the first scene with Samuel, we see him calming down this vicious dog on a street. The dog is his bitch, and then yes, the same sort of behavior happens with him and Romy throughout the film in the sexual scenes. So yeah, while I liked the score, I did find the soundtrack choices a little random. Like you've got Robin's Dancing on My Own, then you've got a heavy techno song and this sort of smooth jazz Christmas number that's quite eclectic. It doesn't feel very cohesive, and you do have to be quite careful with your soundtrack choices, because each song that you play changes the tone of the scene and the movie overall in that moment. And yeah, I did find the tone does jump around a fair bit, because the music is telling you how to feel really in these scenes, and it's very different from one to the other, to go from, you know, sad, melancholy pop song to a doof, doof, doof techno rave song to a smooth, lovey-dovey Christmas song. They're all very different flavors, telling the audience to feel different things. So yeah, tonally it did feel a little bit imbalanced. And some of you are probably wondering about the sex scenes. Are they any good? Well, first of all, there's not that many sex scenes in this film. That might come as a surprise to some of you. But yeah, I didn't find them all that titillating. The scenes between Samuel and Romy I thought were fine. Didn't really get me hot under the collar, but I'm not going to kink shame anybody on this channel unless your kink is kink shaming. And even with the script, there were times where I did find it quite unexpectedly funny. There's just certain bits of dialogue which, taken out of context, are going to sound absolutely ridiculous, but it did make me laugh. Like, do you always have cookies on you? And he won't leave the theatre, he's not eating, and he's reading the Bible. And if I want to be humiliated, I'll pay someone to do it. Also, this is going to sound like such a nitpick, but if you want an audience to believe that Nicole Kidman is having marital issues in bed with her husband, then you probably don't want to cast Antonio Banderas to play her husband, who is absolutely gorgeous. Like, he's just like, if you cannot be satisfied being married to Antonio Banderas, then yeah, there's no hope for the rest of us. I'm not saying Antonio Banderas is bad in this. No, quite the opposite. He's great. It's just something doesn't quite add up as you're watching it when Nicole Kidman is going after the pretty young thing, Harris Dickinson, when what she's got at home, Antonio Banderas, in my opinion, is way, way sexier than Harris Dickinson. I mean, to each their own. I guess it just goes to show how complex human sexuality is, you know, because if you can't be satisfied with Antonio Banderas, then yeah, something really is wrong. All right, shall we talk about its Oscars? No, the glue didn't work. I was coming over to show off the fact that we fixed the Oscar statue and it just backfired on me massively there. But shall we talk about its Oscars chances? It's going to be a quick discussion. I don't think it's going to get any Oscars traction, this film. Not even for Nicole Kidman. It is a good performance, but as this is an erotic thriller and one that doesn't leave much of an impact on you, I don't think it's going to stay in people's minds for very long, this film. So I don't think it's likely Nicole Kidman's going to get another Best Actress nomination for this. Yeah, nothing else, sadly. A sad little Oscar statue. So yeah, no Oscar nomination, sadly, for Babygirl, but what do you guys think? Do you think it might get some award season traction, maybe somewhere else, Golden Globes? Whatever you think about its award season chances, do let me know in the comment section down below. All right then, let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch it again? Nah, this is definitely a one-time watch for me. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? So I've not seen Halina Reign's previous film, Bodies, 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 but I know there is a lot of love for that film. So if you want to support her, yeah, go check it out. If you're a fan of Nicole Kidman, she's great in this. But as far as erotic thrillers go, I think it's more on the tepid side. Like, it explores some interesting ideas, but the movie itself overall isn't that interesting or sexy or thrilling. Like, it's just fine. It's lukewarm. It kept me engaged while I was watching it, but it doesn't have enough to bring me back again. So no, I don't really recommend this for others, but if you're curious, check it out. And third question, what score to give out of 10? Like I said, there's bits and bobs about it which I did enjoy, like the performances, the score. It's fine enough. It's just nothing particularly great. So I'm going to give Babygirl a score of 4.5 out of 10. But as always, guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. Love to hear your thoughts on Babygirl if you've seen it. What do you make of it? Do you think it's got any award season chances? We have to say, let me know in that comment section down below. If you guys want more movie, TV, and Oscars-related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And if you want to stay up to date with all my Venice Film Festival coverage, be sure to follow me on the socials. There's links to all these in the video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Harefield, and I'll see you next time.